My name is Steve Kroll, and I'm with a Milwaukee, Wisconsin-based digital advertising firm called Granular. And today I'm going to walk you through Google's ad transparency tool. It's easier to show you how this tool works than explain it, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Um, if you're looking for a more in-depth tutorial, I did go ahead and post a blog on the Granular website, which I'm going to go ahead and link in the description of this video, or depending where you see this, you'll find it in the comment section. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can just jump right into this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and uh, get started by doing a search that I know will trigger an ad. I've did the search before. All right, so right now you're looking at a Google search results page, and at the top of results, you could see anywhere from 0 ads up to 4 ads. I'm going to go ahead and locate the first ad here. And what you're going to do is click the 3 stacked dots that are next to the display URL. And it's going to open this little box that says My Ad Center. Now, within this box, you're going to see this white outline box within that, and you're going to click See More Ads here. And that's going to take you to this advertiser's ad transparency page. So in this example, we're looking at DocuSign's page. And what you're seeing here by default, it's going to show all of the ads that they've been running on Google's ad platform for the last 31 days. I'll talk more specifics about the date range next, but it's going to show all those ads here in descending order based on, actually it'll show in ascending order based on the most recent to the oldest at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is help navigate you through the tool here and show you how to do some different filtering. So we're going to start with the date filter area. So by default, it's going to take the current day. So I'm recording this on December 1st, and it's going to count back 31 days. At the time of this video, it appears that is the furthest you can go back. You can choose last 30 days. So, if you want to do that, which is like going to be more typical than just 31 days, is like a standard filter. Last 7 days, yesterday, just today. You can set a custom date range. So if you wanted to look, for instance, um, you know, Black Friday through Cyber Monday, you could do that. But anyways, that's how this works. I'm going to go ahead and change this back to just any time. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at the country filter. So by default, it is just showing the United States. I believe that, again, I have not experimented with this too much. So either what's happening is it will show by default the location of the user based on their Google account. It will show the location of the advertiser, or there's a chance it's just going to by default show United States. You can go ahead and change this so it's showing the United States. If I wanted to look at Canada, for instance, you can go ahead and see these ads here. I'm going to go ahead and change this back to the United States. All right, now we're going to look at these all formats area. So by default, it's going to show all the different ad formats: image ads, text ads, video ads. Uh, you know, I'll get into more specific. I'll show specific examples of each of these. Just because it is an image ad, a text ad, a video ad doesn't mean if it's an image ad, it necessarily was a display campaign, an ad that triggered a display campaign. If it's a text ad, it isn't necessarily that it showed just on a search results page, and a video ad isn't necessarily an ad just showed on YouTube. I'll explain this more a little later, but we're going to actually go ahead and look at an ad details page. So like I referenced, these are all of the ads that DocuSign has been running from today going back 30 days. And I'm going to go ahead and just click on an example of one of these ads. All right, let's go ahead and click on on this DocuSign for realtors. So right now what you're seeing is for any of the ads for an advertiser's page, it will take you to this more ad details page, and you're going to see certain information and other information is going to be missing. I'll start with what you're seeing. So you're going to see the advertiser itself, the ability to flag this ad. It will show the last time the ad was shown, as well as, well, that's interesting because it's technically the time of this video, not even December 1st. So this must be going off of Greenwich Mean Time, if I had to guess. Anyways, so it's shown when the last ad showed, the time it last showed, the format, and then you can actually see the ad itself. Among the things you're not going to see, if you try and click through here to go to the destination URL, this isn't going to work. It's going to give you this error that triggers. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. Unlike tools like the Facebook ad library, the LinkedIn ads transparency tab, where you can click through to see the destination URL, or even when you try and look at ads that are from third-party tools like an AdBeat, a SEMrush, a Moat, where you can click through to see the destination URLs, you can't see that here. So I'm not sure if that's an error or if that's intentional for the time being. Because of that, you're also not going to get to see the UTM parameters and that destination URL. You're not going to see performance data, cost data, click-through rate, when the ad first started running. You're not going to see any of that information. At the end of the video, I do talk about what the benefits and limitations are of the tool in more detail, so I won't spend too much time here because I do want to show you examples of what an image ad page looks like, ad details page. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on this example. So right now we're looking at the image ad detail page. I haven't played around with this enough to know for sure if it's only going to bring in responsive display ads. It appears to be the case. I haven't really seen examples of the static banner ads or rich media ads that get developed and uploaded to the Google Ads platform. It seems to be only responsive display ads that it shows with these image ads examples. Let me see if I can show you some other ones here. Even something like this, which at glance might look at it, this is an app install ad, it looks like, which is showing as an image. Anyways, as I get more information, I'll go ahead and update the blog post that accompanies this video if I see changes to this or if I get more definitive information. But to go back to the image detail page, you're going to be able to see the image itself, the headline, the description, and then the logo. To me, that tells me that this is a responsive display image ad type that it's bringing in. More details to come as we get them. We're going to go ahead and look at a video example here. So let me go ahead and click on one of these. I guess it can be any of them. I shouldn't be picky. Right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this because that looked pretty low resolution. So the neat thing here is
I photographed food in New York and Philadelphia and Paris. DocuSign lets me take care of the business side. I can get release forms, master service.
So that's useful. Again, this ad wouldn't have necessarily run on YouTube. In fact, if I had to guess, this is probably part of a video that maybe could have run in a Performance Max campaign type, a discovery campaign. We'll see. But anyways, it is helpful to be able to see the little more detail there on a video ad detail page. And then the last component I did want to talk about is which advertisers have these pages versus those that don't. DocuSign is a verified advertiser, and on any of these pages, you are going to see this badge. So when you click that, it just talks a bit about the steps DocuSign has taken to verify themselves, and then it there's a separate page here which explains in more detail about advertiser verification. I will at the end of the video go into more detail in closing about why Google created this tool. But for now, I want to go ahead and um, talk a bit about the limitations of the tool. So speaking of verification, uh, this tool will only bring in ads for verified advertisers. It's not going to bring in ads for an advertiser on Google's platform that it hasn't gone through the verification process. Now, if you are someone who is an advertiser on Google, or you've got a client who's an advertiser and you find out about this tool, there could be concern that this is out there now. The reality situation is Google, if you've been doing this, you've been getting the notifications from Google. You need to go ahead and verify your account. So otherwise, you won't be able to run ads on Google. Uh, and really, this is keeping with the theme of what Google's mission is with these pages, which I'll touch on at the end of the video. But for the time being, there's this window where this tool is available, and when everyone has finished verifying their ads. So if you want to see ads from someone who is not a verified advertiser, you're not going to be able to see their ads. And I can show you an example. If we go back to that search results page, this company, Juro.com, if you go ahead and click here, in my example about DocuSign, I talked about in this box, you could see the see more ads link. You're not seeing that here for them. So just for point comparison, see more ads, it shows they're verified. This Juro.com is not verified. And I didn't say this at the start of the video, but none of DocuSign and none of these companies that are shown here are clients of Granular. So this is all just using publicly available information. All right, so only shows verified advertisers. The second limitation is this 31-day lookback window. That's at the time of making this video in December 2022. What that means is it makes it difficult if you want to see insights looking at month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year, specific date ranges in an earlier period of the year. You're not going to be able to get that with this tool. For now, you're going to have to do that manually. I'm going to guess Google's smart enough to throttle using this tool or trying to create a scraper or do anything where you're accessing it at a high frequency, just because they don't want to deal with the bot traffic. They're pretty good at throttling that for anyone who's tried to scrape Google results or perform lots of searches. So that's going to apply here. So for now, you just have the 31-day look back window, and you're going to have to not abuse the tool too much. The no cost data that I talked about is definitely a limitation. I don't really see Google changing their tune here and bringing this data in. You don't see that with Facebook's ad library, with TikTok's creative library, with LinkedIn's sponsored ad section. Even Google is really gaining parity with these other tools by showing the ad and the duration, but I don't really see them, nor do I think their advertisers would like if they were going to go ahead and show ad spend, average cost per click, best performing ad. I just don't see that happening. And, frankly, it's something that if you're an advertiser, you don't want Google showing anyways. All right, the fourth limitation of the tool is you're not going to see performance data. So, in the example I'd shared to start when looking at the text ad, you're going to see data around, this ad showed it was the best performer, it converted at a certain rate, it had a click-through rate, or was super relevant. Google's not going to share that data here through this tool, at least at the time of this video. Fifth, you're not going to see targeting data. Everything from keywords to audiences, you're not going to know how these ads were targeted, which is a really important component of the equation when understanding an advertiser's strategy. Seeing the ad itself only gives you part of the story, and not being able to see the keywords that they were bidding on, the audiences that they were applying to their campaigns, definitely uh, doesn't give you the full picture. All right, so I've talked a lot about the limitations. What are the good uses for this tool? How should you use it if you're an advertiser working with someone to help manage their ads? So number one, it does enable you to confirm the advertiser is running ads. It's straight from the source versus a third-party tool like SEM Rush. I think that's hugely valuable because instead of saying, I'm pretty sure this is an ad that ran, and having to lean on a third party, you're getting it directly from Google and showing this is the ad your competitor is running. The second is you can start to understand the advertiser's approach to ad copy. In this example here, you're not going to see all that performance data, but you're going to get a sense, are they leading with benefits, features, unique value propositions? It's certainly helpful just to help get in the mindset of a especially if you're looking at a sophisticated advertiser. They've probably put a lot of spend behind this. They've looked really closely at the data, and they have a good sense of what's going to work well versus what isn't. I would really look closely at the text-based ads here, versus just the image and video ads. Those won't be as informative, in my opinion, just because of how things really have moved towards, performance max campaign types, or having to add these different assets in order to serve on all this inventory and to have a good Opti score. Um, there could be a separate conversation about that. But for now, anyways, going back to this point, you get to understand the advertiser's approach to ad copy. You also get an educated guess, number three, on the keywords that are being targeted. So this isn't foolproof with Performance Max, with phrase and even exact match having loose matching nowadays. But you can start to connect the dots, because generally, if you see, most advertisers are going to write headlines, for the responsive headlines where you have to input a lot of different options. They're still going to really try and have tight theming in using the keyword and the keywords that are being bid on, and having those in the headline, because those are shown to drive a higher click-through rate. Same thing with repeating an ad copy usually. So you can start to use your experience. You use this tool in combination with something like the Auction Insights report from Google, spot checking. You can start to get a sense of the types of keywords the advertiser is bidding on. Fourth, it does give you a sense of the competitive landscape. I would caution to use this directionally versus definitive. Going back to my previous point, using this tool in conjunction with the Auction Insights report, spot checking, the Google Ad Preview tool, you can start to really get a sense of who's competing with you, where's the overlapping set of keywords that you're bidding on. And again, a lot of what I'm talking about, the competitive landscape, comes to uh, the text-based ads. You can't necessarily get as much of a sense when looking at just the image and video ads, but it is still helpful because there will be a correlation between if they're running a lot of different ads, a diversity of keywords or variations of ads, that you could start to maybe power rank the sophistication levels of these advertisers. And then lastly, it helps jumpstart the creative process. If whether it's you're stuck in creative rut, you've approached things a certain way, and you've stagnated with your approach to ad copy, or if you're looking to enter a new keyword space, it could be a new service that you're offering, you've acquired a business, and maybe they haven't been as sophisticated with Google Ads and you're looking to jumpstart that because you're a believer in it, it is helpful for understanding now who are the leaders in this space. How are they approaching ad copy? How are they really thinking about differentiating themselves? All right, so those are the 5 benefits. I have a accompanying blog post, like I mentioned, which goes into more detail about this, gives a little more background on the tool and the lay of the land. But I wanted to make this as quick as I could, even though we're a little over 20 minutes here. I wanted to do this justice in walking through the tool. A final note, I did make reference to wanting to talk about why Google went ahead and created this tool. So on each of these advertiser pages, I'll go ahead and go back here. If you scroll to the top, there's a little FAQ link. If you go ahead and click that, they go into more detail about some of the questions they would envision a user looking at this page having. Um, what is the goal of these advertiser pages? Yeah, this is what Google has to say. They want to do here, so you can go ahead and read that. I do include a link to this in my blog post, but my opinion is they're really looking to gain parity with some of these other tools. Yeah, I think part of it too is over the years they've had issues with companies misrepresenting themselves to look like some of these other advertisers they're claiming to be, bidding on their keywords, things like that. So Google's really just trying to do what they can to make things as transparent as possible to the user. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen now. All right. So if you have any more questions, even after watching this video and going to the Granular website and reading the accompanying post to this, you can reach out to me through our website, or you can contact me directly, steve@granularmarketing.com. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you have any updates that you recommend I make to the video or any questions, definitely reach out. Thanks so much, and until next time.